Hey guys, Swordsman here, and I got an idea for a commentary that came about in the last day or so, and figured it might make an interesting soapbox piece. Hopefully I can be somewhat brief about this one. I don't want to drag on too long, but the thought basically came to me is what comes next? Where do they go from here? And when I say they, I mean EA and DICE. Mostly EA, I suppose. With Battlefield 3 releasing October 25th, of course, it's going to be a pretty stellar game by all accounts. I had my own concerns from the alpha, but a lot of details seem to have been tweaked and remedied since my experience in the alpha. So, all in all, I'm feeling pretty confident about the release of Battlefield 3. I like the direction it's headed in. But where do they go from there? Recently, EA's CFO, he basically flat out said they do not expect or intend to outsell Modern Warfare 3. I think very few people would expect that. I don't think that is a goal that they can really realistically expect to hit. But with that stated so plainly, where do they go from here? I think this year it could be very much a considerable thing to come out with not outselling Modern Warfare 3, but still being able to lay claim that they made the better game this year. But with that out of the way, what happens next year? What happens after that? DICE has been on record saying they have no intentions of churning out a Battlefield game every year, because that's really, at the end of the day, what kind of gets Call of Duty down, at least for my experience, that it's the same thing year after year. So if DICE is unwilling to churn out a Battlefield game every year, and Call of Duty is, what happens next year? Will 2011 be seen as the year DICE puts its hat on the rest that, well, we didn't outsell Modern Warfare 3, but we made a better game than them that year? 2012? Oh no. Black Ops 2 came out and we got crushed because we didn't have a competitive FPS game to show out that year as well. So, like, it just got me wondering, what will happen? Will Battlefield 3 be able to maintain an interest in a presence in the FPS community for over a year? We all know Call of Duty games last 7 to 10 months tops with the average gamers. So what's going to happen? What is the backup plan? Are they going to start to, say, divide the Battlefield franchises into different developers? Will somebody else perhaps take on Bad Company 2? The Bad Company franchise, and we'll see Bad Company 3 release next year to compete with whatever Call of Duty version that is? Will we see something else, say Medal of Honor trying to maybe piggyback on release years between a Battlefield release and a Medal of Honor release handled by some other company? Is that what we'll see? It just seemed like a very interesting question to me to see where do they go from here. That they're putting a lot of eggs into Battlefield 3, and Modern Warfare 3 will be, the same caliber of releases MW2 and Black Ops. It seems to be getting a little bit bigger each year, and basically Activision can do the same stuff every year and have a quote-unquote winning formula when it comes to sales. But what happens next year? There won't be a Battlefield 4 next year. According to DICE, they are not going to continue making an FPS game every year. So what are they going to be hitting up? I don't know. It leads to an interesting question because EA has seemingly invested so much time and energy and resources into promoting Battlefield 3, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I love when games are promoted. It makes for a bigger audience, a bigger player pool, more people to enjoy the game with, a longer lifespan, more things to do, So promotion is all well and good, but where do they go after Battlefield 3 is released and is done? I mean, according to DICE, they want to support the game indefinitely, or long-term rather. Maybe not indefinitely, that's probably a bad choice of words, but what happens after that? I don't know. Could a game like Battlefield 3 sustain itself similar to, say, an MMO type basis? Wait, okay. When I say that, I'm not talking about literally an MMO with like hundreds of people on like servers and monthly fees. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about indefinite production of more game content, bonuses, expansions, things like that. Battlefield 2 saw, well, at least two, was it three expansion packs? Modern Combat, Special Forces, wait, I don't remember the names, but there's at least 2 or 3 expansions for Battlefield 2. Will Battlefield 3 have similar expansions, like one big expansion each year that maybe adds to the game instead of segregating the game's population, like back to Karkand or whatever? I don't know. Will it be able to sustain itself long term? That, say, next year when the big war's heating up again between Activision and EA, will Battlefield 3 run out its next expansion, and will that hold the same appeal, the same interest, the same marketing chances and opportunities that, say, a whole completely fresh game will do? Because if you really think about it, Call of Duty is just a standalone expansion pack every year if you really want to break it down. It's the same core game with different flares added to it, you know? So, if Battlefield 3 kept the same actual game, but just kept piling on expansions each year, or maybe every 6 months, every 8 months, every 10 months, whatever, could it sustain itself long term, or would gamers in general get bored and move on to something new? I myself am known for having a short attention span, but Battlefield 3 is something I want to see myself playing for years to come. I've said this for a while now. I want a game that has staying power like a StarCraft 2, like a Diablo. A game that, say, in 2013, I'm still enjoying playing, I'm still getting my money out of, I'm still having fun with, that's still being supported with new content and new opportunities to do different challenges and things like that. Will Battlefield 3 be able to make that transition into it? And at the end of the day, you gotta wonder, will it be profitable for EA to make that possible? Will they still want a new game every year to compete with the yearly Call of Duties? What's the direction going to be? I don't know, maybe this isn't really something that is much of a concern for some of you guys. To me, it's interesting. It's looking forward that I haven't really seen a lot of people take time to consider as of late. They're sort of just focusing on the here and now with Battlefield 3, which is all well and good. I love that. I love a lot of the game decisions that they're doing and the direction the game is taking. I like the stuff that's coming out, that they're slowly revealing more and more details. There's some things I don't agree with, but no game will ever have a complete seal of approval for every gamer, you know. But I've been keeping my eye towards long term lately, and I'm just sort of wondering how DICE and EA will handle that and what's going to actually happen. I think it's an interesting question that warrants discussion and consideration. And I'm fairly certain most of you guys will have a thing or two to say about the direction of the game and the longevity of the game. Would you guys pay, say $30, $30 next fall for a Battlefield 3 expansion? It would have new maps, new weapons, maybe new game modes. Maybe it would have some new features. Maybe, say, like a theater system would be workable there. $30. It expands on the base game of Battlefield 3. It doesn't segregate the population, it just adds to it. Would you pay that? Would you pay a $30, $40 expansion fee every year to keep Battlefield 3 going? I would. I would be all over that. But maybe some people wouldn't. Maybe they would want a completely new game. Which one are you? Would you just not care? Would you be more inclined to rather see it be a new game every year? Would you rather have, say, Battlefield 3 this year, Bad Company 3 next year, Medal of Honor, whatever after that? Is that what you would hope for? Me, I don't want to do that. I really can't stress enough that I want to be able to keep putting time and energy and effort and money into one actual game that just continues to progress, and it's not like starting over all the time, because that's one thing I guess that Call of Duty both has and it doesn't have. And that is, every Call of Duty game basically plays the same with its controls and its hit registration and stuff like that. But if you get good at, say, Black Ops, you'll be you'll carry those skills over very, very well into MW3, and it's been like that for all the other Call of Duty games going forward. But for the jump from Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3 has definitely been different in my experience, and I just want it to be that the longer I play that game, in this case Battlefield 3, the better I get, the more experience I get, the more progress I make in my own personal skills as a gamer of that franchise. And that it would feel good to have that game sustain itself long term. That everything I'm doing is still going towards the same effort, the same game, the same challenges and stuff. So, I don't know. Those are my opinions on it. That's what, oh, such a fail-nade. I don't know. Maybe I'll edit that out. This is looking like we're at about 11 minutes, and we got 5 more minutes of gameplay here, but I'm really exhausted the topic here. And at risk of further repeating myself, I don't really have too much new to really cover. Though I do suppose I have a couple more topics that we can sort of blend this in here while straying off the original point of this video. And that is, I might be on a podcast come early October called Tech It or Leave It. What do you guys think? It is a podcast based over in the UK. If you guys have been following along with Colin, Stone, Jay, and Blink, they've all been on the podcast. I've listened to 2 episodes now. It must admit I was unfamiliar with it until Stone and Jay went on to it. And then I started listening to that episode, then the one with Blink on it. And it seems pretty cool. I figured I might do that for you guys, but I'm not entirely sure how much tech news I'd be able to bring to the table and share with those guys, because some things, gaming tech, I keep up on. Like the other tech, not so much. Like the 3D TVs or cell phone technology and tablets and stuff. I'm interested a little bit as a consumer, but I'm not completely tech savvy on some of those details. So what do you think? Have you guys ever listened to Tech It or Leave It podcast from, I believe it's called Simply Syndicated Network? If you have, what are your experiences? Have you ever gone on it? Have you listened to the other shows that the D Crew members have done or the other episodes that they've had? Would you like to see me on it? I believe I have a bit of time to decide if I want to go on to it or not, so maybe check out with you guys and see what you guys think. Another bit of tidbit of info is that the Q&A, live Q&A, went off fairly well last Saturday. We had a bit of a delay getting it up and running because of some tech trouble. But once we figured that out, we rolled pretty smoothly and went through, I believe the total was 13 pages of questions by you guys. I did record the audio, and I have it rendered out as an MP3. It's about 200 megabytes, and I'm trying to figure out on the best format for that to give it to you guys. Would you rather have just, say, like a, what are those file things, like just one of those file upload places where I just link you guys and you guys go download it on your own? Would you rather have it streaming somewhere, aka like a podcast type-ish thing where you can just go click play somewhere and listen to it? I suppose in theory I could make a YouTube video with just like a picture background and then the audio. But we're looking at just under a 3-hour Q&A session, so that would be quite the freaking render time. I can get the video quality down because it'd be just a picture, but it's still going to be a sizable file for just under 3 hours. So, how do you guys want to receive that information, that data, that voice audio stuff? Right now I'm leaning towards hosting it on some site and then doing a Tumblr post on my personal Tumblr and putting it there for you guys to go listen to, and then linking it in a video, of course, for you guys to go check it out. Aside from that, that about does it. Today is the 12th of September, in case this doesn't get uploaded on the same day I'm recording this, and looking like we got a couple more weeks until the Battlefield beta that's coming out. There's a couple sites seemingly leaking the beta dates. And I will say they do sort of match up with the dates that I've heard whispered a little bit, so could be looking at a maybe, possibly late September start to the beta. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait. Like I said earlier in the video, I was a little skeptical. Oh, I love this spray. Look at this, look at this. Oh, those guys are going to be so pissed about the spawn system. Oh, those guys will not be happy whatsoever. Oh, I spawned right behind them with their backs turned to me. They will not be happy. But as I said, I was a little skeptical with the alpha from Battlefield 3, but some big changes have been made, and things seem to be coming along nicely, so I'm starting to get excited again. I guess I've always been kind of excited, but I've been more apprehensive a little bit towards the release of the beta in the actual final game, but I think enough time has passed and changes have been made, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting in on the beta come later this month. Who knows? Could be tomorrow for all I know, which would be pretty cool. But we'll see, we'll see. Alright guys, that about does it. I think I've rambled on enough, so that way you guys can enjoy the video here. If you have any comments or whatnot, be sure to leave them down below, because I have a feeling this might generate some opinions. Take care guys, I'll see you next time.